If a man does not love solitude, he will not love freedom, for it is only when he is alone that he is really free. Everyone takes the limits of his own vision for the limits of the world. A pessimist is an optimist in full possession of the facts. Politeness is to human nature what warmth is to wax. Truth is most beautiful undraped. In action, a great heart is the chief qualification. In work, a great head. Honor has not to be won, it must only not be lost. Talent hits a target no one else can hit. Genius hits a target no one else can see. Ordinary people merely think how they shall spend their time. A man of talent uses it. One should use common words to say uncommon things. Hope is the confusion of the desire for a thing with its probability. To overcome difficulties is to experience the full delight of existence. Willpower is to the mind like a strong blind man who carries on his shoulders a lame man who can see. To feel envy is human. To savor schadenfreude is devilish. How shall a man be proud when his conception is a crime, his birth a penalty, his life a labor, and his death a necessity? Each day is a little life. Nature shows that with the growth of intelligence comes increased capacity for pain. Sleep is the interest we have to pay on the capital which is called in at death. If you want to know your true opinion of someone, watch the effect produced in you by the first sight of a letter from him. Almost all of our sorrows spring from our relations with other people. We forfeit 3/4 of ourselves in order to be like other people. Every nation ridicules other nations, and all are right. It is difficult to find happiness within oneself, but it is impossible to find it anywhere else. The greatest of follies is to sacrifice health for any other kind of happiness. A man can be himself only so long as he is alone. It is a clear gain to sacrifice pleasure in order to avoid pain. The closing years of life are like the end of a masquerade party when the masks are dropped. A sense of humor is the only divine quality of man. Happiness consists in frequent repetition of pleasure. Wealth is like seawater. The more we drink, the thirstier we become. The same is true of fame. The two enemies of human happiness are pain and boredom. The safest way of not being miserable is not to expect to be happy. Money is human happiness in the abstract. Life is a constant process of dying. We seldom think of what we have, but always of what we lack. Every possession and every happiness is but lent by chance for an uncertain time, and may therefore be demanded back the next hour. All truth passes through three stages. First, it is ridiculed. Second, it is violently imposed. Third, it is accepted as being self-evident. In our monogamous part of the world, to marry means to have one's rights and to double one's duties. There is no doubt that life is given to us not to be enjoyed, but to be overcome, to be got over. The person who writes for fools is always sure of a large audience. What people commonly call fate is mostly their own stupidity. No one writes anything worth writing unless he writes it entirely for the sake of the subject. Wicked thoughts and worthless efforts gradually set their mark on the face, especially the eyes. Mostly it is loss which teaches us about the worth of things. It is only at the first encounter that a face makes its full impression on us. The word of man is the most durable of all material. It's the niceties that make the difference. Fate gives us the hand, and we play the cards. A poet or philosopher should have no fault to find with his age if it only permits him to do his work undisturbed in his own corner. If we were not also interested in ourselves, life would be so uninteresting that none of us would be able to endure it. To be alone is the fate of all great minds, a fate deplored at times, but still always chosen as the less grievous of two evils. Boredom is just the reverse side of fascination. Both depend on being outside rather than inside a situation, and one leads to the other. Great men are like eagles. They build their nest on some lofty solitude. The bad thing about all religions is that instead of being able to confess their allegorical nature, they have to conceal it. No rose without a thorn, but many a thorn without a rose. The difficulty is to try to teach the multitude that something can be true and untrue at the same time. Conscience accompanies every act with a comment, "You should act differently," although its true sense is, "You could be other than you are." Religion is the masterpiece of the art of animal training, for it trains people as to how they shall think. Men are the devils of the earth, and the animals are the tormented souls. After your death, you will be what you were before your birth. Life swings like a pendulum, backward and forward, between pain and boredom. The more intelligent a man is, the less mysterious existence seems to him. The only freedom that exists is of a metaphysical character. In the physical world, freedom is an impossibility. Hatred is an affair of the heart, contempt that of the head. It is with trifles, and when he is off guard, that a man best reveals his character. Will minus intellect constitutes vulgarity. Men are by nature merely indifferent to one another, but women are by nature enemies.